Of course, the overriding thing, because it causes the greatest variability of weather, is global warming. We can't do anything about that, and it's a gradual thing. We might can do something about it over 100 years, but not over 5. But when we're in a global warming trend, we get erratic weather. It's got its ups and its downs, its dries and its wets. We get more floods and more droughts during those periods of time. El Nino is stronger during times of global warming and has a bigger effect. A little bit about El Nino. That will be our number 2 factor, and one that we can follow from year to year. When we have El Nino, we consider it favorable for the Midwest. We've never had a widespread drought during an El Nino year. It hasn't occurred. Most of our serious droughts accompany the opposite of El Nino, La Nina. And this year we're moving toward La Nina. In fact, we expect to be there maybe by Christmas. If not, definitely by April. If it's not by April, it didn't come. But we do anticipate that it will be here. With that, we have a 70% chance of a below trend line crop yield. With El Nino, we have a 70% chance of an above. With neutral conditions, of course, it's very near 50-50. So, factor number 2, El Nino. Factor number 3 that we deal with. Historically, all of our major droughts have been associated with something happening somewhere else before the drought starts. Of the 17 serious droughts of the past 100 years, 16 times there was a drought before that, immediately before that, in South Carolina. This year they've had a drought in South Carolina. Now and then South Carolina has a drought. Doesn't mean a thing to the rest of the U.S. But whenever the U.S. does have a major drought, South Carolina was having one before. Except for one exception. And that year the drought started in Michigan, by the way. That was 1954. So there's the next factor. South Carolina's been having a drought. The ocean north of Hawaii is now running warmer than usual. It has for a few years. When it runs warmer than usual, we get more dry spells, extreme dry spells west of Interstate 35. We'll expect that to go on a couple of more years. Not every year necessarily during the past 8 has been awful, but average them together and they know they were worse than the previous 10 years. So that is in what we consider a hazardous to our crop yields condition. And then we, of course, will look at perhaps the last factor. I don't know how many factors there should really be, but these factors that we're looking at are significant ones, reiterating them, that we've got global warming, that we've got La Nina on our hands, that we've got drought in the southeast and are due for a major drought, and of course that we've got droughts happening more regularly in the west, and we are in a period of time when we are in decreasing precipitation, we think. Precipitation in the Midwest have been increasing pretty much since 1950 up until the mid-1990s. We have reason to think that will diminish over the next 30 years, making things a little harsher overall for Midwest farming.